Okay, let's see if I can do this quick. So, number 9, we have two equations, and they're both in the slope intercept form, which is a good thing. So let's look at the first one. I know that the y-intercept is 4, so let me just change colors here. So it's going to be over here. We know that that line is going to cross this way, and the information I'm given here is that it's going to be a negative slope. So I know it's going to be something that looks like this. Okay. If you look at the slope, it's negative 3 over 2. So you can choose. It doesn't really matter. So let me write the slope here. Slope is it's written like this. So whether you choose to understand it as this or as this, it really doesn't matter because all of them come out to be negative. So I just going to pick it this way. So I'm going to make that look like that. Okay, so it's up to you. So it's negative. So let's see, the change in y is negative and the change in x, which is the bottom one, the denominator is positive. So change in y is negative means I have to go down. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 2 over. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 over. So you can see it makes sense because our slope, which I can't. Yeah, there's a straight line there, sort of. So that's my line. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 4. And then in blue, I'm going to do the other one. And you notice that the slope is positive, but the intercept is negative. So it's going to cross the line. And this guy over here is going to go that way. So thankfully, they're both positive. So the change in y and change in x are both positive. That's easy enough. So it's changing y is positive, so we're going to go 3 up and 2 to the right. So 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the right. Okay, so we've already found our y, our point of intersection, because it's going to be that point. So I'm going to circle that. So it's going to, again, let me just draw a couple more points. 1, 2, 3, 2 to the right. And on the way, and on this side, it will be 3 and 2, right? Because we're going to continue. And you can clearly tell that our point of intersection is 0.21. So 2, 1, if you were to substitute either here or here, it would make that equation true. Okay. Number 10, 2x minus 4. So I'm going to start with that one. So the y-intercept is negative 4, so it should be down here. Our slope is 2, or better yet, 2 over 1, and it's positive, so it's going to be 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right, 2 up, 1 right. There's a line. Okay, there's our first line, y equals 2x minus 4. If I take that, I do the next one, and the y-intercept is positive 3, so it's going to be here. Again, my slope, which is 1 over 4 this time, is going to be positive. So again, it's going to go up. It's going to be in the up direction. So it's, if you think about it, it's going to be 1 and 4 across. 1 and 4 across. 1 and 4 across. So it'd be here. Wait, is there something wrong here? 2 over 1. 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay. Well, on the other side would be 1 down, 4 right. So, but I'm wondering if they cross somewhere. Okay, again, my line's not that pretty. Hang on a second. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our point of intersection, and that line's going to cross here. Huh. But I'm wondering if, hang on a second. I have the answer sheet, and I believe you don't. I do. So 10 is 4 and 4. So I'm right. The point of intersection. No, there's something I did that wrong. So I'm going to start this one again. Yay. Negative 4. Slope is positive. So we're going to write the slope, which is 2 as 2 over 1. So the change in y is positive and change in x is positive. So from 4, I'm going to go 2 up and 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right. So there's my line. Okay. And then the second equation is here. The y-intercept is at 3 on the y-axis, and the slope is 1 over 4. Again, changing y, changing x, so it's going to be 1 up and 4 across. So 1 up and 1, 2, 3, 4. I knew I did something wrong. So you can tell the point interception is right there. 1 down, 4 to the left if you're going to draw it the other way. And the second line looks like this. So actually, let me write this as equals 1/4 x plus 3. And the red line is, I'll write this down here, y equals 2x minus 4. And they both meet at 4 and 4. 4 and 4. So, and I'm going to take it because it's, I'm going to take this and substitute because it's a pretty easy one. Y equals 2x minus 4. Let me substitute 4 and 4. So y is 4. X is also 4, so it'd be 2 times 4 minus 4. And let's see if the left equals the right. 4 equals 8 minus 4. And you can clearly tell that it works. And if I substitute in the other one, obviously it would also work. So that's 9 and 10. 11. This one you have to do a little work. So I'm going to take this space over here and change the first one. So we got 5x plus y equals 4. Subtract 5x from each side. This cancels out, and then I get y equals negative 5x plus 4. That's this equation, equation number 1. Equation number 2, I'm going to put it on this side. It's x minus y equals 2. I am going to, in this case, I'm going to subtract x. These two cross out. I get negative y equals, sorry, that should be an x. Negative x plus 2. Now I can't have this as negative, so I'm going to multiply this whole thing by negative 1. If I multiply the whole thing by negative 1 times negative y is just y. Negative 1 times negative x is just positive x. Negative 1 times positive 2 becomes negative 2. So there is my slope-intercept format. So now I can use that information and this information to plot. So let's go to the first graph. Y-intercept is positive 4. The slope is negative 5. I'm going to put it over 1. So it's 5 down and 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 to the right. So you can tell it's a negative slope. So it has to go down from left to right. Right, so it goes that way. That's my line, y equals negative 5x plus 4. The second one is y equals x minus 1. So remember, there's a 1 in front of the x. And we're going to put it at 1. The y-intercept is negative 2, so it's here. And the slope is positive, right? So it's going to be, they're both positive. Changing x, y, changing x, positive. So 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right. And you can see that the point intersection is that one. 1 up, 1 right. And I'm just going to plot a few more points. 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right. And make a few points on the other side. I can connect these dots and make my second line, which is y equals x minus 2. So the point of intersection is 1, negative 1, and that will satisfy both equations. And just because I want to check, let me check using the second equation, y equals x minus y equals 2, right? I'm going to take that equation, and then I'm going to substitute, so x is 1 minus negative 1 equals 2, 1 minus negative 1, 1 minus negative 1 is the same thing as 1 plus 1, right? We switch to adding the additive inverse. And 1 plus 1 equals 2. So you can tell that that point of intersection satisfied that one. And I'm not going to do the second one because I'm too lazy. Second equation, again, I'm going to take both of them. I'm going to take the first one, x minus 4y equals negative 4. I'm taking this equation over here, and I'm going to put it in terms of y. So I'm going to subtract x on both sides. And this cross out, I'm going to have negative 4y equals negative x minus 4. And then I'm going to divide this. Actually, one of the things you can do here, let's just divide. If I divide by negative 4 on this side, I must divide everybody on the other side by negative 4, and likewise the last one by negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4 is y. That got crossed out. And negative x over negative 4 is just x over 4 becomes positive. And negative 4 divided by negative 4 is positive 1. So our y-intercept is 1, right here. Our slope, m, equals, remember, x over 4 is the same thing as 1/4 times x, right? So our slope is actually 1 over 4. So they're both, it's a positive slope, so we know it's going to go that direction. and it's 1 to the right, 1 up, sorry. Changing y is positive, so it's 1 up, and changing x is positive, so it's 1 up, 4 to the right, 1 to up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. The other way would be 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's not too much room, so here's our line. Y equals x over 4 plus 1, which is the first equation. We still need the second equation to change, so we have x minus y equals 2, minus x on both sides, cross, I get negative y equals, what do you call, negative x plus 2. And I think it's easier here. I mean, you can divide by negative 1. Remember, there's a negative 1 here, and divide everything by negative 1, or take that whole thing and divide times that negative 1. If I multiply the whole thing by negative 1 and negative y is just y. Negative 1, so we're applying the distributive property, right? Negative 1 times negative x is positive x. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. So here's our equation. The y-intercept is negative 2, so I'm going to put my y-intercept over here. And my slope, remember, it's 1, so it's going to be 1 over 1. So my slope is positive. It's going to be up again, but it's going to be a 1 up and 1 right. 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right, 1 up, 1 right. So right here is our point of intersection. And let me just draw that line right here. So you can tell that our point intersection is 4, 2. And that should satisfy both equations. And you take the chance to check. So let me check over here. So using that equation, which is y equals x minus 2, and I substitute y is 2, the x is 4, and you can tell that the left side equals the right side. Okay. 13. Likewise, x plus y equals 3. Subtract x from each side. These go out. I get y equals minus x plus 3. The y-intercept is positive 3. The slope is actually negative 1 over 1, right? Because there's a 1 over here. I'm going to put 1 over here. So it doesn't matter if you want to put the negative on top or the negative at the bottom. Okay, it really doesn't matter. So the change in y is negative, so it means I go 1 down. And the change in positive is positive. Changing x is positive, I go 1 left. So 1 down, 1 left. Down left, down left, down left. And you know it makes sense because our slope is negative. So this is supposed to be going in the downwards direction. The other equation, it's 8x plus y equals negative 4. Subtract 8x from each side. I get y equals negative 8x minus 4. Our y-intercept is negative 4, so it's going to be here. Let's put this over 1, so our slope is negative 8 over 1. So again, it's going to go down, right? Now if I were to, so it means go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wanted to plot point's going to be 8 down and 1 right, so I'm just going to put 1 over here. Now if you were to plot this going upwards, just go back, go the opposite direction. Instead of 8 down, you would go 8 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 to the left. So right here, their point of intersection. So this line, it's a negative slope, goes down, and it meets in that point, and that point is negative 1 and 4. You can easily check, so let's check on the first equation, which is x plus y equals 3, right? Right here. Substitute x is negative 1, y is 4, and that should equal 3, and it does equal 3. So you see it works. So take the time if you like to check it on the second equation, see if it works as well. 14, y is not clearing. X minus y equals 2. Minus x, and I'm going to get that negative y equals negative x plus 2. I think it's easier if you just multiply everything by negative 1. Negative 1 times negative y is y. Negative 1 times negative x is positive x. Negative 1 times positive 2 is negative x. So here's the equation of my line here, where my slope is negative 2. Sorry, my y-intercept is negative 2. My slope is a 1 over here, so it's going to be 1 over 1. So which means it's positive. It's going to go up. So 1 up, 1 to the right. Up, 1 to the right, up, 1 to the right, 1 up to the right. So it would be this one, and this one. There's our line, y equals x minus 2. And then in blue, I'm going to do x equals negative 2. So x equals negative 2 has no slope, right? So let's find x on the x-axis equals negative 2. It's this point right here. And the line for that would be this, right? X equals negative 2 is this line right here. Shoot. Let me just bring it down a bit. Try again. So, well, that's my line, x equals negative 2, and you can tell that that's our point of intersection, and the point of intersection is negative 2, negative 4. So let's just check if that's right. So this one is an easy check. Let's take the first equation. x minus y equals 2. If I substitute, I get negative 2 minus negative 4 equals 2. Negative 2 minus negative 4 is the same thing as adding 4 equals 2, and you can tell that it does work. Take the second equation where it says x equals negative 2 and substitute. Well, this is my x value, so if I put negative 2 over here, it does equal negative 2 on the other side. So this point here satisfies both equations. It's not that bad. Once you get the hang of it, it's really, really simple. So 2x plus y equals 1 minus 2x minus 2x. And I get y equals minus 2x plus 1. My intercept is 1, so I'm going to put here. My slope is negative. You can tell it's negative, so it's going to be coming down. Let me put this over 1. So it's a negative 2 over 1, so it means it's 2 down, 1 to the right, 2 down, 1 to the right, 2 down, 1 to the right, 2 down, 1 to the right. So that's what my line looks like. So this is my line 2x plus 1, which is our first equation here. In red, I'm going to do my second equation, red. And let me pull that over here. It's 2x minus y equals 3. I do minus 2x, and I get negative y equals negative 2x plus 3. I'll multiply everything by negative 1, because I want a y positive, so negative and negative is positive. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2x. And negative 1 times positive 3 is minus 3. So here's my equation to line for my second equation. My intercept is negative 3, so it's here. My slope is 2, which is positive, so it means this line is going to be over going like that, and let's put it to over 1. So the change in y, which is 2, is positive, so on the y-axis I have to go positive, which means go up 2. The change in x here is positive, and we're going to go on the x 1 to the right. So this is a 2, 1 to the right, so 2 up, 1 to the right, and you can tell it meets right here already. 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right, and here's our line. And it meets there, okay, so the point of intersection is 1, negative 1. You can substitute. I'm just going to pick one of them, so let me pick the first equation, which is 2x plus y equals 1. Let's see if this works. So in place of x I put 1, so I get 2 times 1 plus negative 1 equals 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus negative 1 equals 1, and 2 plus 1 2 plus negative 1 does equal 1, and we know it's true. Next one, let me take this to the side, so I get x minus 3y equals negative 6, minus x minus x. Cross that out, I get negative 3y equals negative x minus 6. You can, let me do this a little bit differently. I don't know if it makes a difference to you guys. Let's multiply this whole line by negative 1. So if I multiply the whole line by negative 1, I get negative 1 times negative 3y is 3y. Negative 1 times negative x is x. Negative 1 times negative 6 is positive 6. Now I can divide both sides by 3. This by 3, this by 3. That crosses out, becoming 1. I get y equals x over 3, and 6 divided by 3 is just 2. So my y-intercept is 2, positive 2. My slope, let me put a 1 over here. It's 1 and 3, so both are positive. So I'm going to go 1 up and 3 to the right. On the other side, I go 1 down, 3 to the left. I'm going to plot that point. So I think hopefully that's enough. So that's my first line. Y equals x over 3 plus 2. In blue, I'm going to do the second one, which is over here. 2x minus y equals 3. No, that's not what we're doing. We're doing this one. 2x minus y equals 3. Oh, look, it's the same one. That's the other one. Okay, so minus 2x on both sides. This cross out, I get negative y equals negative 2x plus 3. I multiply this whole thing by negative 1, which means I change the sign of everybody. So this becomes y 2x minus 3. My y-intercept is negative 3 over here. My slope is 2, positive. I know it's going to be going up, and it's 2 over 1. So it's 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, 1 to the right, 2 up, and here's our point of intersection right there. We can draw our line. And it's a little crooked, but it's y equals 2x minus 3, and our point of intersection is 3, comma 3. 16. No, just 16. 17. Let me get that line. X plus 3y equals negative 12 minus x on both sides. I'm going to get 3y equals negative x minus 12. Divide both sides by 3, so which means I can divide that by 3 and that by 3. 3 over 3 is 1. 1 times y is just y. This becomes negative x over 3, and I'm going to write it as negative 1/3 x. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. So my y-intercept is negative 4 right here. My slope is also negative, which means it's going to be a line going this way, and it's negative 1 over 3, which means negative 1, 1 down, and what do you call 1 down and 3 to the right, so it's 1 down and 3 to the right would be here. 1 down, 3 to the right would be here. Now if I want to draw a point on the other side, I can't go 1 down and 3 to the right because I would end up here. So you just go back, do the opposite. If you went down, you got to go up, and if you went right, you go left. So it's 1 up and 3 left to draw the point on the other side. 1 up and 3 left. And again, that's what our line looks like. So this is our line, our first equation. Y equals negative 1/3 x minus 4. Let's do the second equation, which is 5x minus 3y minus 5x minus 3y equals negative 6 minus 5x minus 5x. Cross out and get negative 3y equals negative 5x minus 6. I want to divide this by negative 3, divide this by negative 3, and then divide the last guy by negative 3. So this becomes positive y. Negative 5 and negative 3 is just 5 over 3. We can just make it positive because both negatives will give us a positive result. And negative 6 divided by negative 3 is plus 2. Y-intercept is positive 2, so it's around here. Not around there, it's there. This is a 5 over 3, 5 up, 3 to the right, because they're both positive and changed. Both changes are positive. So 5 up, 3 down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So it would be out. If I want to draw the point on the other side, I would instead of going 5 up, I would go 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And instead of right, I would go left. 1, 2, 3. And here's our point of intersection. Right? Because this line has to be a line that goes up. That's my line y equals 5 over 3x plus 2. And the point of intersection is negative 3, negative 4. Negative 3 and negative 3, negative 3. So that's our point of intersection, which if you substitute, you would find out that it would satisfy both equations. 18, 2x plus y equals negative 4 minus 2x minus 2x. Cross that out and I get y equals negative 2x minus 4. That's it. My y-intercept is negative 4. My slope is going to be negative 2 over 1, which means it's 2 down and 1 to the right. So 1, 2 down and 1 to the right. So to draw the point on this side, you would just go backwards, which is 2 up and 1 to the left. 2 up and 1 to the left. 2 up and 1 to the left. And I know I'm plotting this correctly because when I connect my lines, it makes a line that has a negative slope going down. Blue would be, what am I doing? 2x plus y equals negative 4. So I'm going to do x plus 4y equals 12 minus x minus x. I get 4y equals minus x plus 12. Divide this by 4. Divide this by 4. Divide this by 4. That becomes y. This becomes negative x over 4, or negative 1 x over 4. I want to write the 1 over there because we need that for our slope. And then 12 divided by 4 is just simply 3. Our y-intercept is 3, so I put a dot on 3. It's going to cross the y-axis over there. And this is a negative, what do you call slope? So it's going to be something that points down, and it's negative 1 over 4. So it's 1 down, 4 to the right, 1 down, 4 to the right. Where is this going to meet? Am I doing 18? Negative 4, 4. 1 down, 4 to the right. So 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can tell. And then if I want to draw on this side, I'm not going to go down. I have to go up and 4 to the left. 1 down, 1, 2, 3, 1 up, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's our point of intersection. That's my second line, and I'm not labeling my lines. So this is my line negative 1x, 1/4 x plus 3. This is my line y equals negative 2x over 1 minus 4. And the point of intersection is negative 4 and 4. Okay. 18, what are we at, 19? So 19, I get x plus 2y equals 8 minus x minus x. I get 2y equals negative x plus 8. Divide each side by 2. Divide each term on the other side by 2. That goes adios. I get left over with y, and then again, I'm going to add the ones. Negative 1 x over 2 plus 4, because 8 divided by 2 is 4. Y-intercept is 4. It's a negative slope to be going down, so it's 1 down. The change in y is negative, so I'm going down. The change in x is positive, so I'm going to go right. So 1 down, 2 right. That makes sense. 1 down, 2 right, because as you can tell, when I connect the dots, it's going to give me a slope that's going to be negative. Okay, and that's that equation right there equals negative 1x over 2 plus 4. My second equation is x minus 2y equals negative 4. Subtract x from each side. I get negative 2y equals negative x minus 4. If I divide this by negative 2, I must divide this by negative 2, and divide this guy by negative 2. That becomes 1. I'm left over with y. Negative divided by negative is positive, so I'm going to get x over 2, or better yet, 1x over 2. And negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. So the slope of the intercept here is 2, so it's going to be crossing here. The y, so that was my y-intercept. My slope is 1 over 2, right? M, which represents slope is 1 over 2. So it's going to be 1 up and to the right, 1 up. So from this point, I go 1 up to the right, and you can tell That's our point of intersection. One up to the right, or one down to the left, one down to the left, and that's our second line, which has a positive slope, and that makes sense. This is my line y equals x over 2 plus 2, or 1x over 2 plus 2. The point intersection is 2, comma 3, and that's the point. If you substitute on both equations, it will make them true. Point D, 2x plus 3y equals negative 12, minus 2x, minus 2x. That crosses out. I'm left with 3y equals minus 2x minus 12 divided by 3. Divide each term on the other side by 3. I'm going to get y equals negative 2 over 3x minus 4, because 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the y-intercept is negative 4 right here. My slope is also negative, which means going down. So the change in y is negative, so it's 2 down, 3 to the right, 2 down. So I'm going to extend, so it's going 2 down, 3 to the right, so I'm going to be here. I want to drop the points on the other side. I'm not going to go 2 down, I'm going to go 2 up and 3 to the left, just backwards. 2 up, 1, 2, 3, 2 to the left, 2 up. And that looks like my line, and that's my line y equals negative 2 thirds x minus 4. In blue, I'm going to do over here 5x minus 3y equals negative 9 minus 5x on both sides. I get negative 3y minus 5x minus 9, divide both sides by negative 3. These cross out. Divide this by negative 3 and this by negative 3. So I get y equals 5 over 3 positive, because a negative or negative. And then negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3. My y-intercept is 3 over here. My slope is positive, so this line is going to look like it's going up. And it's 5 up and 3 to the right. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up and 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. So somewhere around here. Now, I want to drop points on the other side. So to drop points on the other side, I'm just going to go backwards instead of 5 up. Obviously, I can go 5 up. I have to go 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And here's our point of intersection. So this line intersect right there. And our point of intersection is negative 3, comma, negative 2. And if you were to substitute this either here or here, you would make them both true. Okay, so I think that was the last one. So this wasn't that bad. Yeah, that was it. Okay, I'll put it up right away.